Now for fingerings for intervals. So because of the tuning of the guitar, just standard tuning, there are a lot of different ways that you can play intervals, and they change as you go down different string sets. So let's look at all those for right now. First of all, let's go over the perfect octave, which is 12 half steps apart. And we'll start here at the 5th fret. You can play them 2 strings apart and 2 frets apart. Now you can either finger pick those because they're obviously on strings apart, but you can either pick them like this, or if you mute out the strings between, you can play them like that. All right, if you move down a string, it's the same kind of thing. Here's another A to A. When you move down another string set, the pattern changes a little bit. It's 2 strings across, but now it's over 3 frets. And then back here at the 2nd fret, you have A to A, which is also 4 frets apart. Another way to play an octave is 3 strings apart, like this. Or down a string, it would be like this. And then between the D string and the E string. So now I'm going to run through some of the other intervals. Let's check out perfect fourths. So since the guitar is tuned in fourths, you can literally just move down, flatten out your finger and play fourths across like this. Down the next string set. Down the next string set. Between the G and B string, it changes a little bit. Looks like this. And then the last string set. All right, now let's check out a perfect fifth. This time, instead of basing the intervals and notes off of A, we're going to base them off of D. So we'll start out here at the 10th fret. And starting out, here's a 5th. Let's move down a string set. Move down another string set. Move down another string set. And move down the last string set. Next, let's do a tritone, which is exactly 6 half steps apart. And the reason why it's called a tritone is because it's 3 whole steps apart. And let's base this one off of A to D sharp. It looks like this. Next one. The next string set. The next string set. And the last string set. Let's work on some seconds and sevenths now. Let's start out with a minor second, which is just a half step. So we've already learned that one before. We're just putting a new name to it, a minor second. So if you're playing this between the on the thickest 2 strings, you really have to stretch, but it's like this. Okay, that's A to B flat. Now move down a string, and you have. Move down another string, you have. Move down another string. And then on the last string set. All right, now let's check out a major 7th. And a major 7th is just like a minor second, but sort of inverted. So we just did A to B flat. Now if we do B flat to A, that's a major 7th. So let's look at this. Okay, that's B flat to A. Let's move that down a string now. Let's move that down another string. And then finally the last 2 strings. All right, now let's look at a major second, which you guys have already learned this as a whole step, but now it just has a new name to it. So let's build this from A to B, and it looks like this. On the next string set, on the next string set, on the next string set, and the last string set. All right, let's check out minor sevenths. So if we invert the major second, it becomes a minor seventh. So instead of going from A to B, as in a whole step or major second, we're going to go from B all the way up to A, and that's a minor seventh, which sounds like this. Move down a string set. Move down another string set. And the last string set. Next, let's check out thirds and sixths. So first of all, we're going to do a minor third, which is exactly 3 half steps apart. And we'll start out and just play from A to C. Check it out. Move down a string set. Move down a string set. Move down a string set. And the last one. All right, if we invert that, it turns into a major sixth. So instead of going from A to C, we're now going from C to A. Let's hear that. Move down a string set. Move down a string set. And move down a string set. Let's check out the next type of third, and this is a major third. It's 4 half steps apart from A to C sharp. Here we go. Next string set. Next string set. Next string set. And the last string set. Now if we invert that, it becomes a minor sixth. So here, instead of going, again, from like A to C sharp, we're going to go from C sharp to A. C sharp to A. Let's hear that. Next string set. The next string set. The next string set. And the last string set. Now you can play this instead of on adjacent strings with a string in between them, and it just it changes slightly. It's like this.